Hey guys. Oh. It's because she's short.
Hey guys, it's AJ and
Andrew.
And we're with the Emerald Group right here on the Emerald Coast, and today we're going to show you this beautiful neighborhood, Emerald Point. We are south of 98, just to the west of Hurlburt Field and to the east of Navarre Beach, not very far from it though, very close to amenities. And this neighborhood is wonderful. Not a huge neighborhood, not a ton of amenities, but it does have an HOA access to the sound, which we're going to show you. And lots of very shallow water, so you can take your kids out there. There's a point that you can go walking to or get your boat stuck on if you're not careful. But we're going to show you this neighborhood and one of the properties that we actually have listed here for sale currently. At the time of recording this video, we already have multiple offers, so I'm not anticipating it to still be available by the time you're seeing this video. But that doesn't mean that there won't be additional properties for sale here if you guys determine that you love this neighborhood. So again, Emerald Point, remember the name. Let's go check out the beach access. All right, so in Emerald Point, there is a voluntary HOA. That means you don't have to be a part of it, but this access is owned by the HOA. And the $225 per year that it costs to have this access means that you now have access to the water. So if you're not purchasing a property that is already waterfront, this is the only way that you're going to have legal access to the sound from the neighborhood, unless of course you get permission from one of your waterfront neighbors and say, hey, can we just walk through your yard, kind of thing, which absolutely can happen. I used to live in this neighborhood and lots of folks are super cool about that. But there are also events that go on multiple times a year that if you're members of the HOA, you have access to it, and there'll be like grilling out or picnics, fireworks sometimes. Look at this. Like, I do miss this part of the neighborhood. Now, here in our area, it's required that everybody has access to the water, that has access to this beach essentially. So all of the docks, you are legally allowed to walk under them, over them, whatever, so that you have access to all of this beach area. And look, it's still white sand. We're on the sound and you still have a white sandy beach.
Well,
ridiculous.
it doesn't happen most of the time.
No, that like never happens. So I really love this neighborhood for all of the waterfront areas, of course, but then also the fact that it's not a huge neighborhood, but it's a safe feeling one. You're very close to Hurlburt Field, not a crazy high price point, but still great properties. And we're going to show you just how long the walk would be from, say, this HOA beach access to the property that we currently have listed for sale. And we're gonna get really super sweaty doing it, so y'all don't judge us, okay?
I'll judge a little bit.
Of course you will.
But I can do that because I'm getting sweaty too.
We brought water.
Well, one of us did. One of the really cool things that I like about this portion of Mary Esther is, well, two really namely things, is you're very close to Hurlburt Field. So those of you that are going to be stationed out there or headed that direction, you've got a short commute. You're also right off of 98, which makes going just about anywhere super, super easy. And my favorite part, though, is you're getting better prices here than you generally would in Fort Walton and currently Navarre. That's not something I used to say all the time. Navarre used to be kind of the bargain deal to get on the water. The last 5 years or so, that best kept secret is out. So it doesn't happen as much. So you're kind of getting this middle ground between Fort Walton Beach and Navarre as far as pricing.
So look at these houses. You've got some of them on stilts. You've got some of them that are still on ground level. To give you a little bit of history about this neighborhood, it was already established whenever Ivan came through, but most of the properties were sitting right at ground level. They weren't on stilts. And so a lot of them, actually, pretty much all of the waterfront ones, except this house, my old house, all wiped out.
That's why it looks so familiar.
Yeah.
I remember moving a whole bunch of wood from this lawn.
Yeah.
And a boat.
And a boat.
That was in the lawn. That's not where boats belong.
Wedged under the house. So all of these houses got completely wiped out. except for that one. And so they all had to be rebuilt on pilings so that then they wouldn't require the flood insurance. They could be safer, of course. Now, whenever they did that, everybody, of course, built up their lots too to just kind of help with mitigating the risk of the water intrusion. So whenever Sally came through, my house, which was original, was like a basin. All the lots around it had been built up. So, hey! So, and there's Benita. Look, check out our open house sign for Sunday.
Yeah.
It's
That's true.
I thought he looked familiar. I was like, who's that?
That was actually Benito in the car.
Benito in the car.
It's one of our other agents.
Oh my god.
Benito's been with us for many, many years now.
Yeah, he's
He's
awesome.
kind of our Crestview specialist. He also works Fort Walton, Destin, Niceville. We cover the entire area, if we haven't mentioned that already. So if you guys are curious about buying in this area, we're your go-to from Panama City to Pensacola Beach.
So all of that to say, this neighborhood has like a love-hate relationship with, you know, hurricanes coming through. But everything has already essentially been mitigated from crazy waters. Now, if we get another Sally, there are some properties that still sit kind of low. And that's why we're in AE flood zone, why you're going to be required to have flood insurance. So definitely, if you're considering the area, it's important to know the history of the house that you're looking at in particular to see, is it prone to water intrusion? Thankfully, we know this neighborhood, so we're able to let you know. Do you need water?
Nope.
Because you have water pouring out of your face right now.
Yeah, it's a good look I have right now, I'm sure. This is why we shot the house first. Little secret. You guys didn't hear us say that. I love the parkway, the driveway. I mean, oh wow, I like the house too.
Yeah.
I didn't make it that far yet.
They redid so much of it. Holy cow. This is like a completely different look from what it was the last time I showed it.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
What's really cool about this is we've got a lot of little tucked away neighborhoods like this, sort of the Mary Esther secret. A lot of people kind of steer away from Mary Esther mainly because there's just not as many houses out here. But little do they know, there's a lot of little hidden gems like Emerald Point.
And here we are at the house in question.
We're gonna get out of the street so we don't get ran over. So what was that, 4 minutes maybe? We'll have to put a timer on it.
Yeah, I didn't put a timer either, but not a long walk at all. So if you didn't want to deal with the hustle and bustle of, you know, public beaches, yeah, you're gonna have waves and, you know, more salt water rather than brackish water. But this one, I never had a problem with it. I rarely went to the beach when I lived here because this was good enough for me. Still see dolphins all the time, plenty of shallow water. The waves were a little bit gentler and plenty of space to just like lay out or take your paddleboard out, not getting pummeled by the waves if you do take your paddleboard or jet ski or any of that. Didn't have to go through the pass. So highly recommend this neighborhood and specifically this house.
So now that we've made it to 165 Shoreline, I'm actually going to flip this camera around and let AJ tell you about it since, well, it is her listing after all, and I'm so excited about this one.
I'm listening to these other people's conversation. Are y'all building it
Yeah.
there? That's awesome. So this house is incredible. I was here whenever the current owners actually purchased it. Funny story, it was in the middle of Hurricane Sally and we were all troopers through the whole thing. There was a boat actually running into my house and we were still putting this one under contract. Pretty cool like experience. I mean, was and was not. So this house, they've completely redone it, like completely. Everything is new. And basically, imagine your standard 2-story is going to have all like the additional bedrooms upstairs, and then the master, the kitchen, dining, all of those areas are going to be downstairs. This house is the complete opposite. So this is where we're going to have all of the additional bedrooms. So right over here, you've got basically what you could use as an office, and then still have a little wet bar over here. So if you wanted to have guests down here, they can still have access to, you know, beverage, snacks, whatever. Or if you have your office here, you can have that hanging out You do have water view right here from this like office area. It doesn't show up quite as good in video, but you do have water view from literally every window in this house. If you come through here, you've got like a downstairs master, if you will, because it is the only bedroom with an ensuite bathroom, which of course has been completely redone. I'll let you walk in here and check it out. And it is the largest bedroom on this floor. And you've got this massive walk-in closet.
Big old window.
You've got the restroom over here. We've got this house listed at $600,000 right now. We just went live and I've already got one offer on the table and it looks like I might have 2 more coming in. So it was a pretty solid one. We've got another full bathroom over here.
So by the time you're watching this, it may be gone, but this still gives you a pretty good example of the types of properties you see out here in Mariester.
And then we have 2 other bedrooms over here. Both with pretty sizable closets as well. I just love the finishes. They chose all, you know, black hardware, even the fans, even the air vents, they're all black, they all match. And then you've got this beautiful...
Look at the hinges.
You're the hinges.
A lot of people don't do that.
Oh yeah, they did such an incredible job on this house. And this blue color just going throughout, it's so lovely. And wait till we get to the balconies. Oh my gosh. Like the outdoor spaces are fantastic. Standard massive garage. And then right off of that, you step in and bam, water view.
Got outlets even on the floors.
And there's so much lighting throughout. There's recessed lighting pretty much everywhere, water views everywhere, outdoor spaces everywhere. So you've got your living space, and then your dining, kitchen, and then this is the master.
It's a big old closet.
Yeah. And you've got 3 doors here that all slide. So kind of like those, you know, those glass doors that you go for interior, exterior doors. They just kind of close in on themselves. This house has 4 bedrooms, 3 bathrooms, 2,222 square feet, built in 1991, but completely redone within the past 2 years. And when Hurricane Sally came through, this house was just fine. A little bit of water in the garage because it's lower, but nothing inside the house. This is the master bath. And then the kitchen. The kitchen, they didn't have the opportunity to upgrade, so you're going to see it's got older appliances. Nothing was really done in here, but for the location and the views, it's still very reasonably priced. Now, all of that is wetlands and then sound, so you're not going to lose that view.
Yeah, no neighbors are gonna grab you.
So let's check out some of these outdoor spaces.
Okay.
So
Don't tell me twice.
So you've got this wraparound deck that's been redone. Beautiful. You've got this, you know, area right here. You could be hanging out looking at the water over here, just sipping your coffee, or the water view over here. Like, you get a water view. You get a water view.
Everybody gets a water view.
Everybody gets a water view. That's not actually true for this neighborhood. Not everybody gets a water view, but everybody on this street for the most part. Again, more water view over here. So you can sit in the front where you can kind of hang out with your neighbors, or you can sit in the back and be like, I don't want to talk to you guys today. I'm going to enjoy my space all by myself. Nothing's gonna happen over here. These stairs just come down and wrap around so that you can have another exterior access to your house on the ground level. You do have solar panels which are paying off. It's a brand new roof. Everything about this house is just completely redone. Everything.
Except the kitchen.
Except the kitchen. They threw in everything but the kitchen sink.
But that means you get to make it your own, which is kind of cool.
It is. Well, it's a little bit of space for you to be original. We do have this additional screen-in porch over here as well. Double doors for easy access.
And with a fan.
Yeah.
You can.
And again, water view. In this neighborhood, we're pretty well nestled away from 98. We are south of 98, so this is in flood zone AE. So you do require flood insurance, not like a crazy amount, but you know, enough that it's there. And you don't hear any road noise. Like you hear some of the construction that's going on. At night, you can hear the waves a bit. And as like the construction is going on, you hear that. And of course, the birds, which is like the best thing to hear in the morning. If you guys are looking for a property similar to this one, I say similar because this one will probably be gone by the time you're watching it. All of our contact information is on the screen. We are first and foremost real estate agents here on the Emerald Coast, and we absolutely love helping you guys make the most informed decisions on your purchases. So give us a call, text, or email. We'll help you to choose the perfect home here in our area.
Super sweaty because it's Florida.
Hey guys.
Oh.
Yeah, we were recording.
Cool.
We're live.
You guys are welcome. That's what I do. I sing sometimes, and it's not good. Poor AJ. Oh my gosh.
And sometimes he drives.
Well, now you got me all messed up. I didn't know we were recording. There's so much going on in our lives right now. I know. There's a bush there. I know.
There's a bush there. There's a house here.
So we don't know what we're doing over here. We're going to show you a great little driving tour here in Emerald Point. Show you how quick it is to get to 98, how quick it is to get to Hurlburt Field. And there's a cool little neighborhood behind us. What's that add-on to Emerald Point behind us?
It's like Sunny something or other.
There's something like 4 houses on it, so we're not really going to go over there and showcase it, but it's actually pretty cool because the houses are so spread out. Almost all of them are Gulf front at the time, or at this moment.
Sound front.
Sound front, I'm sorry. Ocean front, sound front. It's all
It's
water.
all
There's
water.
water over there.
Fish pee.
Yeah. It's the first time I think we said fish pee on camera, so that's part of who we are now. So to give you guys a little bit of bearing, I know we just walked back from the sound side, but straight ahead of us right here is where that HOA area is. But we're not going to go over there. But it's literally like right there. You're like 10 houses away.
Right there. That's where we're walking from. That's why we're all sweaty. But I'm going to turn this around. Show you some of the other properties here in the neighborhood. You can see the elevation changes quite a bit going through this neighborhood. There's a house way back there. It's so cool. I would definitely buy it if it came up for sale. Just FYI, Mr. Seller, Miss Seller, if you guys sell your house way back there, I might be interested. Just reach out.
New game.
That new game?
Basket soccer.
Basket soccer. So we are heading out to 98. Like I said, very small neighborhood, very cute neighborhood. Usually you'll see people out like walking their dogs, hanging out. Not a huge Airbnb neighborhood. It is allowed because there's no mandatory HOA, but the neighborhood really doesn't like it. So it's kind of frowned upon if you do put your property on Airbnb. You can access 98 by the main entrance over there, or you can take Windhaven Road right here, which we're going to use, head east a little bit, and then access 98.
I wanted you guys to kind of see the different properties here because they're kind of all over the place. So depending on what style you like, we've got several different types. You've got like the more contemporary, you've got the more modern, 2-story, 1-story.
There's an Andy Wilson build right there.
Oh, that's one of Andy's?
Yep.
Oh,
the only one he's built down here. He doesn't like to build in our area, but he did that one. And look, these are waterfront over here. Yep. Once we get further over.
And some of these are tucked away as well. In fact, I think it's this next one is one of them that I sold a few years ago. But they're very tucked back. That was not the same one. But you wouldn't even know that some of these are here other than you see the driveway, obviously, because they've got all these trees and stuff up here. And that's the main reason I wanted to drive down here to show you guys that. I think that's pretty cool. Now you are further away from the HOA area if you purchase it over here on the Windhaven Street. But still good access and still only, 8 minutes away walking at any given time, even if you're all the way over here. Oh, that's the one right there.
Yep, I showed that one too.
Super cool little house. The way they had it laid out, it was very open. I really liked it.
So if you're over here on this side, chances are you wouldn't even be using the HOA beach, to be completely honest. You'd probably make friends with someone in one of these houses that I'm recording right now and just ask them if you could access the sound from their yard. Beach people tend to be very happy and chill people because, well, you're on the water. So life doesn't get a whole lot better than living on the water. So if you live on the water and you're miserable, there's something really crazy going on.
Yeah, if you're living on the water and miserable, you need to get a dog. That's clearly the thing that is missing. Very, very dog friendly here. I'm gonna wait for this car so that I'm not rushing. And then of course, depending on your style, you've got a nice little hole in the wall Blue Moon bar right here. It is beer only. They don't do any liquor. They don't have a license. And it's actually kind of a cool little place if you like holes in the wall.
I don't like holes in my walls.
Okay, well then you probably wouldn't like it. So you're seeing all this stuff that AJ is pointing out. These are those, everything on this right side that you currently pointed at is waterfront, or at least the neighborhood is waterfront. You've got some individual houses, as you're seeing right here, because the land just bumps up closer to 98 over here. And that one's even for sale right there. And then we've got little neighborhoods tucked away, very similar to Emerald Point, although Emerald Point is one of the larger ones here in Mary Esther, as far as the amount of homes that are there. You still have several other options that have a good amount of homes. You'll see properties pop on and off pretty regularly throughout this whole area.
This area is a little bit more rural feeling than, say, Navarre proper, even though we are just on the east side of Navarre. So the Navarre line was literally like 10 feet from the Emerald Point main entrance. And now we're heading east away from that towards the main gate of Hurlburt Field. So there isn't a ton of stuff along this stretch. Most of it is going to be a little bit further west in Navarre, like your Publix's and Aldi's and Dunkin' Donuts and things like that. And then also to the east, if we go further into Mary Esther, the east side of Hurlburt Field, and then into Fort Walton Beach, you can have your Target and Starbucks, So this is kind of the slower area between the two, if you will.
I will.
You will.
So one thing I like to point out is, when you're purchasing a home, I wouldn't call this a rule of thumb, but you can't go wrong with it most of the time if you're purchasing where realtors live, because we know the neighborhood. So we just showed a neighborhood that AJ used to live in, and we just passed my neighborhood. We didn't point it out because I want to remain a secret from you guys. But I also currently live in Mary Esther. I've lived in many different cities in this area, but Mary Esther is where I currently reside. And, there's pros and cons to everything, but that is just a good kind of rule of thumb. I like it because of the value that you're getting here. I'm going to go past this guy because he's going slow. The value that you get here is just amazing. Now, you are going to have a couple of drawbacks to living in Mary Esther, though. That is exactly kind of what AJ was saying. You're in the middle of things. So had we left that neighborhood and went left or west, you would have seen that there is a Publix over there that they just built brand new. It wasn't always there. Okay, yeah, you go ahead, buddy. So there is a Publix right there. You've got your shopping. There's an El Jalisco up there, Mexican restaurant, Publix Liquors, and a couple other smaller shops that I'm not 100% sure what's out there because they literally just opened. Like, I'm talking in the last 2, maybe 3 months, something like that. So you've got your shopping right there, and then you've got everything else in Navarre if you were to continue to head that direction. And then, of course, if you go this direction, you've got Hurlburt, that's what we're showing you here in just a moment, and then everything in Fort Walton Beach. So you're about an 8-minute drive to get to places that you would generally need to get to on a semi-regular basis. Whereas if you were in Fort Walton or Navarre proper or something like that, it might only be 5 minutes or, even a little bit less depending on where you're at. So just keep that in mind if you are trying to figure out which areas to live in. This isn't one that we do a lot of videos on because it's kind of a subset of Fort Walton Beach technically. So we just kind of lump it into Fort Walton Beach. So when we're talking Fort Walton Beach, we talk Fort Walton proper, we're talking Mary Esther, and we're talking Shalimar. So that's why you don't see videos pointed directly at Mary Esther, but a solid option if you're looking for that little bit more bang for your buck and you're okay with the little extra drive. And you're only able to use 98, so keep that in mind. There are no back roads, so if this is backed up, if there is an accident or something, it can get a little bit rough, but most of the time it's pretty easy.
Like this?
Yep, just like what we're dealing with right now.
It is 3:30 on a Friday, so I'll let you guys guess why we are stopped right now.
I think it was just a red light, which this light is almost never red for us.
Ever.
This is a school zone, so every single morning, from about 7:45 to about 8:30, I think. It's flashing, it's 30 miles an hour. People will blow right past it, but it does slow us down a little bit. The traffic accidents that come out here, if you're headed this way, are generally fine. When you're heading into Navarre, let's say maybe you're commuting to Navarre or something, it can get pretty bad. You can actually see it right now. This is prime time. So I work in Fort Walton Beach. Our office is located in Fort Walton, which means I've got to drive west, so toward Navarre, from Fort Walton Beach in order to get home. This traffic is the reason I don't go home from 3:30 until 6 p.m. It's not normally this bad. There's definitely something going on that we're missing, but it does slow it down. It normally takes me about 13 to 14 minutes to get to the office and back, except when this happens, and then it jumps to 30 minutes. So it's not that dramatic of a change, especially I know a lot of you guys are coming from bigger cities and you're going 30 minutes, like, dude, easy all day. But for us that we're so used to having everything so quick right here, being this close to 98 and just jumping from city to city, it frustrates us just because, we're just trying to live our lives, and maybe we don't like that extra double commute out of nowhere.
So this is a time, especially on a Friday, is like prime time for military folks to be getting let out from Hurlburt Field. So that's where a lot of this traffic.
That's why it's Friday. I didn't make that connection.
So that's why we're going to be seeing quite a bit of this. We're not going to see it so much heading east. It really backs up mostly heading west. So that's what all of that standstill is, and you're going to feel that pressure all the way into Fort Walton Beach. You're going to see lots of traffic for a while, but the good news is it does move. It's not just sitting, like it's slow moving, and it does tack on, like Mongo said, maybe 15 minutes to your drive, but it's not crazy. On this side, we have the Hurlburt Field kind of residences and rec center down here on the south. And then to our right, you can see some of the plains a little bit. That's Hurlburt Field, and the access was under the overpass. So now you've seen Emerald Point, Mary Esther, how long it would take to access that HOA beach from, the farthest point essentially in the neighborhood, and also how long it would take for you to get to Hurlburt Field from that neighborhood. If you guys have any questions whatsoever regarding real estate here on the Emerald Coast, give us a call. All of our contact information is on the screen, and if you haven't done so already, please hit that subscribe button, ding the bell, so that you get notified every time we do another video. If you guys weren't sure if you loved us, here's a link to our Google reviews. We've got over 100 5-star reviews. We absolutely love helping you guys make informed decisions and helping you get into the property that matches you best in your financial situation. So we'll talk to y'all later.